Psalm 78 verses 2 through 4 says, I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not conceal them from our children, but tell the generation to come the praises of the Lord and his strength and his wondrous works that he has done. Well, if you're joining us in reading through this 6-month reading plan through the book of Psalms, today's reading is Psalm 78, the title through verse 10, and I encourage you to read that section. Well, Asaph now continues the discussion of the importance of teaching what God has done to the next generation, but he uses an interesting term in verse 4. When he says that they will not conceal the works of God from their children, he's literally saying that they will not purposely hide them and knowingly keep them away from the children. In other words, they won't put a fence around them. What he is saying is that he will actively tell his children about that which God has done. And he intimates in verse 8 that someone in Israel had actually concealed those deeds from everybody. Now, this is exactly what happened when Amnon was Josiah, who was Josiah's father and king over Judah. We find that after Amnon died, Josiah took over as king about 640 BC, and they found the scrolls in the temple and they wept and repented because of what they had read in them. We find the story in 2 Kings chapters 23 and 24, and also in 2 Chronicles chapters 34 through 35. Now, Josiah grew up in a home that was to be dedicated to God, but it was not in that reality. Many of our children of believing Christians, have grown up in similar households. They dutifully went to church while they were growing up, but as soon as they went into college, their parents stopped going to church, and by extension, they recognized that if church wasn't important to their parents, then it wasn't necessarily important to them. Now, this is translated into a society that was Christian in word, but not Christian in deed. Some of the major problems in the United States today is that we have people who know a little bit about the scriptures, but they have no idea how to live. They have seen their parents, and by extension have gone even farther than their parents went in their lack of understanding and desire for God. There's only one way that we can change, and that's through repentance. Repentance is a change of mind which results in a change of action. We have to exchange how we interact with God. It's not good enough to talk a good game. We need to practice. We need to actively seek a strong relationship with God. Now, this means that we have to change our minds, and in that change, pray that God will use our newfound desire to serve him so that our children and grandchildren will turn to Christ. And if you would like a PDF copy of this entire reading plan, please send an email to phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.